just one of the many reasons why I believe in the existence of God. Question: how to logically prove that this universe must have been created by an intelligent being based on the argument that a car could not have simply appeared by accident? Answer: the ultimate blueprint, proving intelligent creation through the logic of the artifact. The question of cosmic origins has long been a battlefield between faith, philosophy, and physics. Was the universe a consequence of blind, chaotic chance, or was it the deliberate product of foresight? The sheer scale of the cosmos often obscures the simplicity of the logical proof required to answer this. We do not need a telescope or a quantum accelerator to begin this proof. We merely need to understand the function of a ubiquitous, earthbound artifact, the car. If we can logically prove that a car, a relatively simple machine, cannot appear by accident, we establish a premise. When we apply that identical, rigorous logic to the infinitely more complex machine that is the universe, the conclusion that an intelligent creator exists becomes not an article of faith, but a logical necessity. Part 1. The Law of the Artifact and the Car Paradox. Consider a modern car. It is composed of thousands of specific parts: pistons, spark plugs, wires, microchips, gears, and structural steel. These parts must be forged, milled, refined, programmed, and assembled in a precisely ordered sequence to achieve the function of conveyance. What is the probability that a vast storm of metal shavings, crude oil, and silica, given infinite time, might randomly coalesce into a fully functional chrome-plated sedan? The probability is zero. The reason it is zero is not merely statistical. It is based on the principle of irreducible complexity and information theory. A functional car is irreducibly complex. If you remove the oil pump, the engine quickly destroys itself. If you remove the crankshaft, the vehicle becomes inert. Functionality requires the simultaneous, precise arrangement of multiple interdependent components. More fundamentally, the car is information, a physical manifestation of a blueprint. The final arrangement of complex parts presupposes intent, foresight, and specialized knowledge, intelligence. If you found a completed car buried in a remote desert, you would universally and immediately conclude that an intelligent being had been there. No scientist, skeptic, or philosopher would argue that the car was the result of random erosion, volcanic action, or purely natural chemical bonding. This is the logical premise. Intricate design, requiring specific organization and coordination among interdependent parts to achieve a singular function, logically necessitates a designer. Part 2. Scaling the complexity, the universe as the ultimate machine. If the logic holds true for the car, we must now apply it consistently to the universe. If a simple artifact demands intelligence, what does the ultimate artifact demand? The universe is not merely complex. It is a system of exquisite, life-sustaining precision known as fine-tuning. Physicists have identified dozens of fundamental constants and ratios that govern the cosmos, the settings on the ultimate cosmic dashboard. These include the strength of gravity. If gravity were slightly stronger, stars would burn out too quickly for life to evolve. If it were slightly weaker, matter would never clump together to form stars or planets. The ratio of the electromagnetic force to the strong nuclear force. This ratio is utterly critical for allowing carbon, the basis of life, to be produced inside stars and survive the stellar environment. The density of the universe. The initial expansion rate of the Big Bang had to be tuned to an accuracy of 1, followed by 60 zeros. If it were fractionally faster, the universe would have collapsed back onto itself. Fractionally slower, and matter would have dispersed too thinly to form galaxies. These constants are not merely permissive of life, they are optimized for it. They represent hundreds of dials, all set to the exact fractions necessary to allow for hydrogen to turn into helium, stars to ignite, planets to stabilize orbits, and organic chemistry to occur. Applying the car logic. If the sight of a functional engine tells us that a brilliant engineer exists, what does the sight of a cosmic engine, a universe running on constants set at 1, followed by 60 zeros, producing galaxies, solar systems, and conscious human life, tell us? To argue that the car was designed, but the universe appeared accidentally, is to commit a grave logical inconsistency. It suggests that disorganized nature is incapable of producing a carburetor, but fully capable of producing the laws of quantum mechanics, universal constants, and the human brain, a machine vastly more complex than the entire transportation network of the planet. Part 3. The fallacy of chance and duration. Skeptics often raise the counterargument of statistical possibility, suggesting that given infinite time, even the most improbable events, such as a car spontaneously arranging itself, will eventually happen. Furthermore, they invoke the multiverse hypothesis. Perhaps our finely tuned universe is just one of an infinite number of random universes, and we simply happen to be in the one where the dials were set correctly. However, this counterargument fails to resolve the core issue of information. If you were to take all the disassembled parts of a car and place them in a giant tumbler, spinning them for 1 trillion years, you would still only get battered, rusted parts. You would never get a functional car because the process of creation requires directed, organized input, the blueprint, the assembly line, the conscious worker. Chaos creates noise. Intelligence creates harmony. The universe is not merely a random pile of elemental dust. It is a highly organized, functional system based on sophisticated mathematical principles. Just as the car is the physical manifestation of an intelligent blueprint, the laws of physics are the manifestation of a cosmic blueprint. Time alone does not generate organization. It generally increases entropy, disorder. Therefore, relying on infinite chance across infinite universes does not eliminate the need for intelligence. It merely pushes the origin of the intelligence outside our observation. It doesn't explain why the laws themselves are so perfectly structured for emergent consciousness. Conclusion: the necessity of a grand designer. The logical proof, using the simple analogy of the car, is an exercise in consistent application of the principle of sufficient reason. Everything that exists must have a sufficient reason or cause for its existence.